CanSign 7stone171 back for American Trucking Video. As I said in the last video, what I'm going to do in this one is we just upgraded this garage to 2 trucks. I actually think there's already 2 trucks in here, both of which belong to me. So we'll look at here real quick. Daily profit 0 because nothing is basically El Paso, Las Cruces, and now Kansas City I'm basically using them as my personal depots. We're not going to do that with Kansas City though. This truck, the green one that we drove already, is there. We'll leave that here. I think the truck I'm driving is based out of Phoenix. Actually, I don't know what it's. Doesn't matter. What we'll do is we'll just hire 3 drivers to put here, but I'm going to show you what you do is you go to the truck dealer. I've been buying just buy online, and then I just look at my fleet operations. And so this is the one that I've been using for my company drivers. It's Cascadia, uh, 500 horsepower, Eaton uh, 18 speed. You know, it's a basic truck basically. It's expensive, a lot more expensive than that K100 that we just built. It was like 60 grand. So we'll purchase it. We are going to send it to Kansas City, Missouri, put it in that spot. Yes. We're going to do the same. Purchase Kansas City, Missouri, put it in that spot. I wish you could just say 3 rather than 1 at a time. That can get to be a pain in the ass. 3. Okay. Then what we're going to do is go ahead and put 3 trailers there too. So I have my fleet configuration, which is not the white one here. The white one is mine, but they're all. That's just one. These are ones that you've made. So let's do. 58,000. That's a full wooden lowboy. The difference is it has stock wheels. Doesn't have anything. Whereas this has like custom shadow wheels and stuff on it. It doesn't need to have any of that shit. Purchase. There. Yes. And again, why I can't just say 3, I don't know. These are things that would make the game easier to manipulate, but I think they almost intentionally make it a little cumbersome so that you don't just. They want you to drive. Like it's the main purpose of the game is not just to build a giant trucking empire. Okay. So then we go to recruitment agency, hire a driver, and then you have ratings here. So he's got a 1.7 rating. This is hazardous. I think long distance, fragile. Maybe that's fragile or no, valuable, fragile, time sensitive, and I think eco. Um, Sometimes these don't match up. Like you might want her because she's got more distance driving, and the longer the distance, probably the more money. So let's hire her. You hire. Where do you want to put her? There, in that truck. Okay. Um, Sometimes you'll find one down here that's like balanced, like he's got 3, even though her rating is lower. Whereas this person only had 2. Well, he's got hazmat, so let's do him too. Um, Hire driver, Kansas City, Missouri. Put him in that truck. You just want, and also when you hire a driver, then a lot of times right after you hire your 3rd one, a really good one shows up that you wish you'd gotten. Now let this one, she only has 0.8, but she's got 4 distance. She's got a little bit of this person's got a little bit of everything. So hire there. So now we've hired a driver. The other thing you can then do is go in and look at your driver manager and Kansas City, Missouri. So they're all 3 of these are going to be at Kansas City. this guy, and you can go in and you can the training policy. So you could set them for uh, long distance. That'll pay more. Long distance, long distance. The long distance stuff usually pays better. But however, it does take them longer to complete a trip. Once they maximize this long distance, then I usually put them back to balanced at that point. You could probably run them at balanced, and after a while, they would max out anyway. So, I don't know. Does it really matter? Probably not. Most of my other people are already balanced at this point. So, and over here, you got your garage manner, shows your productivity. You can like by zero, by max, and again, these are zero because Cruces, Kansas City, and El Paso. Kansas City we just built, put 3 drivers in it. There's also 4 trailers. You can have, I think, 5 unlimited trailers. I'm not sure. You can have 5 trucks in the big garage. We have 3. El Paso and Las Cruces are just places I store trucks. And then I have a couple also in Phoenix, which is where we are for some reason, even though we just finished a delivery. And it was a World of Trucks thing. So Phoenix, there's 5 out of 5, but like I'm there in one. I'm one of the spots because I'm always one of the spots, no matter what truck you have. That's why it keeps sending us back to Phoenix and flip-flopping this truck right here, I guess. It's kind of weird. So, yeah. So that's a little bit how that works. You can also travel too if you want. So anyway, it's weird because it's I'm not in Phoenix, but this is where this truck is out of. Because right now we're still in Missouri. We're in the new garage in Kansas City that we just bought. That's where we just slept at. But this truck is based in Phoenix. So that's why it continues to revert back to Phoenix when we build a new truck, buy a new buy. That's why we keep going back to Phoenix because this is where I started. So doesn't have total profitability. This is just your daily profits. Phoenix is the most. Dallas, Amarillo. So you have your percentages of stuff, what the productivity is. Um, you have your driver manager also shows you your profit per day. Me, this next guy, 15,000 a day is the average. So you kind of go down the line, shows you what their current status is. They're en route. So they've got this trailer, full wooden lowboy doing a space container. You see they're already maxed out and in process of maxing out the rest. If they're this one, they're sleeping someplace. They're on a trip, but they're currently sleeping. And then I think if there's a little house icon. There used to be a house icon if they're at home. I don't know. Anyway. All right, guys. That's a short one. It's only 8 minutes long. I can show you used trucks. So you can purchase. These are used trucks available that you could purchase. Sometimes they're cheaper, but your company driver will not drive anything under 4 stars. So I made that mistake too. I bought some cheap trucks and then they were never being used, and I didn't know why. And it's because they won't. Then you got to spend the money to refurbish them, and you might as well just buy a new truck. So there's a few different ones available. There's a new Cascadia. So I do wish there was more selection of used trucks. Oh wait. Okay, so you can just do Peterbilt, just do that, or all. So I think that's it, guys. Garage purchases, you can go in, and now that we're in Missouri, we could buy garages in these other places, even though we've been to Joplin. So now that we have a certain number, so you can see there's a lot of garages that haven't been bought. Don't know if there's a maximum anymore. In Euro Truck Simulator, I ran into that. I don't have any up here, so I really ought to buy more garages. And it's one of the reasons why I only have 25 million here. And in like Euro Truck Simulator, which I've driven a lot less in, I spent more time building the company rather than driving, and that's why I have a lot more in Texas. So I ought to, what I need to do is go in and like, maybe we'll do that in another video. We could do it right now. We could go through a process where we pick at least once in one state. In each state, we get at least one, you know, garage in each area. Also, there are under services, no, under catalog, you can do logistics map. That will show you, and this just gets really complicated. Fortunately, it doesn't also overlay what you already own. I wish it did. But let's say like Joplin, Missouri, which we don't have. I don't know why. We can't get a garage there. The others we have. You pick that, shows you how many companies are available, what kind of cargo, and you can specify like I only want dry van, or I only want refrigerated, you know, um, or I want all. Um, so let's look at like Houston, this one. You know, there's so you want more companies in the region. Um, where the hell is Seattle? There's Everett, Seattle. So you can go through this whole process of finding, you really can spend a lot of time figuring out like what's the best city. You wouldn't want to pick that one because there's only two companies right there. You want to pick which one has the most companies in it. That's more. That's more. And build one there. So this I could be you didn't even used to have this. Um, that one's got more. That's Portland. That makes sense. So why don't we build one in Portland? So now you got to go back to the garage manager, buy a garage in Portland. So let's just make sure there isn't any better choices than that. No, there's not. Portland definitely has 9. So there's more freight out of Portland. So let's do that. We'll buy one more garage. Now you got to go into company, garage manager, garage purchase, Portland, large. Or you can start with small if you want to. But the large, since I have the money, you might as well buy the large because it gives you gives you the fuel and it gives you the ability to expand. So purchase, yes. Great. Now we go to truck dealer, Freightliner. See if there's one over here. Closer, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. My online fleet configurations, purchase, purchase. Go over here, put it in Portland. 1. This is where if you could just click 3 rather than have to do this 3 fucking times, would be really helpful. You can work through it pretty quickly. You can get into a routine. I usually start with 3, see how that goes. Full wooden lowboy. I wonder why this one's more. Oh, okay, again, because I wish too there was a way to like remove this from your fleet configurations because some of these like I really want the green one in there or the white one in there. Maybe I do. I don't know. Purchase. So let's send it to Portland. The other thing is in that logistics map, it showed you the type of cargo. I could be making a mistake by putting this trailer in here, and you don't have to. The drivers will just pick up a freight with the trucks. But if these trailers are available to them, they'll use them, and they get paid more if they use their own trailer. But if the trailers, let's say there's no flatbed business in this city, then they're not going to use them. But they'll still do freight. They just won't use your trailers. They don't have to use your trailers. So you could put like that's interesting. standard trailers, Load King. So there's different types. These are more like the kind you use in Europe, the flat rather than the low boy. Aluminum drop deck, grain hopper. These are trailer packs, different trailer. Then you have standard trailers. So you've got those, that's for containers, tanks. There's some of those big boy trailers, that one. The double low boy, here's a double sliding tarp, triples, insulated. So there's a bunch of different kinds of trailers available. And if you buy one of these, it'll then show up in your My Fleet configuration. So we already got the trailers in there. So now let's hire 3 drivers. Hire a driver. And always look through the entire list because sometimes the one at the end will be your best bet. So she has kind of 3 there. Let's just hire her. Put her in Portland. This guy has 2 on Fragile. She has a hazmat or he has a hazmat and a distance, which puts it a little ahead because I like to do distance stuff. This guy has 3, a distance and a, does it really matter? I don't know. They all ultimately get better at their jobs. So this guy has distance and Fragile. Put him in that truck, and that's it. So that's how you do. You just built another garage out to 3 drivers, and you would just add 2 more trucks and trailers, or no trailers. If you don't want to buy trailers, you don't have to buy trailers. That's how you do it, and you would just continue to do that. I do. It'd be kind of neat if there was a way to automate that whole process. Like buy it, buy a garage, buy 3 trucks of your type that you want, buy 3 trailers of the type that you want, and send them there rather than having to go click, 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 click. It'd be nice if they could refine that a little bit. It would definitely make buying out. I think they want to slow you down. Otherwise, you could very rapidly just build garages all over the place. I guess that's why, but it is a little frustrating. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. That's a 17-minute video. It's long enough. I'm getting kind of tired. I want to watch a little YouTube and then relax for the night. But that's our truck. Kind of a cool little truck, ain't she? I drove one of these for a long time in the game because they were the one thing you gotta be careful with these short wheelbase, and they make longer wheelbase ones. If they make one with stretched frames, they can jackknife pretty easy because they're pretty light and the wheelbase is real short. So you got to be a little careful going around, and they're a little taller too, so you can roll them. But they're fun trucks, and they're lightweight. They're very easy to maneuver. There's a reason why these were used for years, and there's a reason why they use these in Europe, and it's the same reason because they're shorter. But maybe next time we'll put a different engine in that truck, and maybe put we got a V12 in it. Maybe do some heavy loads with it. I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. Y'all have a wonderful evening. And Ken's 97 still 171 signing off. See you guys.